Hello and welcome back to the Cozy Arts. Today we're going to be talking about a sensitive health issue, and I know that the smart way to YouTube is to make you wait and make you scared and build the tension so that you stick around. And I don't want to do that to you. Here at the Cozy Arts, we do not bend to the will of the algorithm, so I'm just going to let you know right now that everything's fine. We're still going to talk about it because it's important, and it was kind of a big part of this video in which I make a mediocre hat or two. Spoilers. We're still gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna send you back in time to Past Cherish to talk about it. So, see you later. I've got the noisy chair today. Welcome back to the Cozy Arts. I am Cozy, and I have a confession to make, and that is that I haven't been taking good care of my skin for reasons. I have multiple chemical sensitivity. Things that have smells really bother me, and it's taken me like a decade to find a it's taken me about a decade to find a sunscreen that I could even remotely tolerate. I need to remember what that was and buy more of it for this year. So I love, one of the few things that I can sort of do with my disability is garden. And so I've done a lot of gardening and not a lot of skincare. And also going to the doctor makes me sick. So it's not something that I do regularly. In fact, I don't currently have a primary care physician. And so I've had some like suspicious moles and things that have been bothering me for a really long time, and I've been a little too scared to deal with it because I unfortunately live in America, and it just really sucks to think that anytime your body can bankrupt your whole family. I did finally adult and I called my insurance provider to say, yo, I need to see a dermatologist. Do I need a referral first? Looked it up, said, no, you don't need a referral with your policy, but they do need to be in network. I can send you a list of dermatologists near your zip code. And so I'm like, yes, please. So I went through the list and I looked at them, and the first one that I tried had like a 2-month waiting period before I could get an appointment. And then I found another one where I get an appointment tomorrow. So hopefully I can tack on to this video some resolution there of how that went. But in the meantime, I've already been making plans about what I'm going to do better this year. And so one thing I'm going to do is I love like getting a little too strong for these sleeves. But I love this style of shirt. It's maybe not the most flattering on me. I've got a lot of real estate here, so like deep V's are probably the best because I don't have a long neck, but I do have ample cleavage. So deep V's are probably the most flattering, but they're not as much fun. I just really fallen in love with this style of shirt, and so I'm going to make a long sleeve version of this. But honestly, I have made this shirt a few times on this channel, so I'm not going to put you through that. But the other thing that I have been meaning to make for years, and I have not made yet, is a sun hat. And one of the reasons why I haven't made it is because like, oh, it should be not that hard to draft up a pattern, but I also don't feel like drafting up a pattern. So I did a search, and we're going to try this free pattern from Madcap. Oh no, that doesn't show you the logo. Ah! Excuse me, I have the weirdest hiccups. And I've been streaming a lot lately, and I feel so bad every time I hiccup because like, oh, that was probably really loud with no warning, and it's just such a weird noise. And I try to keep my streams really cozy so that you can like it can be an escape from and then I go and I hiccup really loud. So sorry about that. There's the logo. I think my printer messed it up. It totally messed it up. You're not gonna, there it is. Madcap. I will link this in the description. I think based on the measurements, Based on the measurements, I think it would be a little snug for me, but some of the reviews said that it ran large, so I might just fudge with the, seam allowance a little bit. And the other thing is that it seems like it's more of an adventuring cap and less of a gardening cap. So I might make the brim ever so slightly wider just to get a little more sun protection. And also, I'm gonna add a chin strap. I have had like a floppy straw hat that I don't know where it is. One of the problems with it is that it just ends up on the floor and being played with and disappearing. But I didn't have a chin strap, so I had to like add something, and it wasn't as nice as if I had made something. So I'm gonna make a chin strap. And I got these fabrics, and this is my plan. I'm gonna make a long sleeve version of this with the purple as I think this solid mane. And then we'll do this pansy. I don't know, can you see my beautiful pansies? I don't love how yellow it is, but I think that there's enough other colors in it that it's gonna have a hide. Also, I don't have it here right now, but I also got some purple rickrack that's like pretty much this color. So we can add some rickrack detailing and make it super cute. So this is the plan for the shirt, and I ordered way too much of both of them. Also, side note, I got these from Michaels. Michaels sells fabric online now. My current complaint about Michaels fabric is that they don't do a good job describing like the weight of it. So I need to know if it's 100% cotton. Yes, I absolutely need to know that, but 100% cotton can be useful for a lot of different things. So I need to know if it's like a quilter's cotton, or if it's like a canvas, or if it's like a t-shirt. Like, I need to know this, and Michael doesn't have that yet. But hopefully they will soon. Also, the other thing that probably will change as they get more fabric in their stores to try and fill some of the Joann hole, their fabric came and it didn't smell like potpourri and all the other crap that Joann's fabric smells like. It didn't really have much of a smell at all. Didn't take a lot of washing to get the smell out of it. So this will probably change as they continue down this road. But currently, Michaels is really good for getting non-smelly fabric, and I'm really excited about it. Oh, we also have this fusion shape, which is a really stiff, I swear I have more somewhere because I have used this when I made a hat for my partner. I made some hats for him, and this is what I used for the brim, but it's just like nice and stiff. Oh, it's also not as wide as I expected it to be. So the first step is to tape my pattern together and cut it apart, which is not super interesting, so I'm probably not going to show you. But the way that you do it is this one. Oh, okay. So this isn't. Sometimes they're really good about telling you which piece of paper goes here. This isn't that informative. These two go together. So you can either cut this off or fold it over on the line. Just on one side. You don't need to do both. You don't really want to do both. And then you're going to just line it up and tape it. And I need to find my masking tape because masking tape is the least smelly tape that I can find. So I have done this with like Scotch tape, and it's intolerable, the amount of smell that you get from doing like a pair of pajamas patterned with taped together with Scotch tape. So masking tape is the best option for me if I can find it. But I will be back once we have a cutout pattern. Maybe it'll even be up here looking down at what I've got. We'll see. spoilers, I made the shirt already. I just watched the video for the hat. I will link that in the description because these pieces are a little bare boned. And all the instruction is in the tutorial. And so this isn't a tutorial video here because I can't do as good of a job. It's not my pattern. It's not my business. I don't make hats on a regular basis. So watch that video if you want to actually like get tips on how to make a hat. I'm also doing things a little bit differently in that she uses a bunch of different layers to make her thick hat brim, and I'm going to be using this stuff because this is what I have. I don't have any other interfacing, and because of that, because I don't have any other interfacing, I'm not going to line the top and the sides. I'm just going to have the stuff in the middle for stability. So we'll see. Also, I don't know how my machine is going to handle sewing through this because I don't remember if I've had to sew through it before. So maybe this won't, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. Oof, that's the good stuff. Anna. Anna. Okay, it's it's the next day. I realized I didn't have my spare battery charged up. So, and one of my batteries no longer charges. So I used to have 3, which was a pretty good rotation. Now I have 2. So I let my battery charge, and then my kid came home, and I don't like to film talky things when my kid is home. So we're gonna jump back into it. I did do some, also my hair is wet because I have to go to the doctor today, and I needed to shower before that, and then I'll need to shower later, and I wanted to get a bunch of stuff done this morning, so I threw some lasagna soup in the crock pot. I banged out my workout. I did a load of laundry, did a load of dishes, and now it's time to do some sewing. Because yeah, it's my last chance to try and bang this out and maybe actually get a video out this week. We shall see. Sorry, it's so wet. And I'm gonna have to take a shower when I get home because I'm gonna smell like the car and like the clinic. So it's gonna be a 2-shower day. And also, like, showering really helps get the smell out of the sinuses because even wearing my respirator, I'm gonna get smell all of my sinuses. Plus, one of the things I wanted to check is this thing on my nose that I don't think it's always been there. I don't remember when it showed up, but it's been a while, and just so many things on my face, and I can't really show. Yeah, I can't really show the dermatologist. I can't really show the dermatologist without taking off my mask. So it's gonna be a tough day. But where did it go? In your absence, I did do a little bit of sewing, and I sewed the top piece, so that's ready to go, and I sewed the sides so they're ready for a little more detail. The inside one, I'll need to figure out where to put the straps. The outside one, I'm gonna have to add the bow and the band that I want to do. But I did. This is real bad. This is real bad, and if I had more interfacing, if I had more interfacing, if I had more of like the fusible liner thing that I used, I might just do it again because it's real bad. But I did sew this, which kind of really looks like a dog cone. I'll get into that in a second. But I did have, you can see kind of from the front that it's a little bit irregular, but it's real bad. It's real bad because I should have ironed it. I should have ironed it so that one side, at least, I didn't have to worry about it doing this, and I could just focus on the side that I could see. Instead, I had some secret problems in the back. So it's not good. And also, I did add like this much to it so that I would have more shade coverage, which I think like it's gonna be good for shade purposes. I think it looks ridiculous, so it's a very silly hat. So I think it looks really silly, and also it like constantly bumping it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this hat because it's going to be good to have a hat that gives this much coverage. Like it's going to be great sun protection. Um, but I think I'm going to get the correct interfacing and do it correctly and make another one just out of this out of the pansy fabric. I think if I just do like pansy and then the rickrack, because the rickrack is what makes the pansy work. Just do a solid, not a solid, but like purely pansy hat will be really cute. But I'm not gonna make a video about that because we're making a video about this, and sometimes we're watching suffering. Like Sarah Spaceman always says, "You're here to watch me suffer," and it's kind of what we're doing. We're suffering a little bit. But now it's time for the fun stuff. Where did they put them? So I left the pansy stuff for you because pansy is the fun stuff. So far, like my problems have come in where I haven't followed the tutorial, and that's on me. The tutorial is fine. The tutorial is good. I am just not doing a good job. I feel like the correct answer is to also go through and top stitch everything. But I'm so unhappy with the current state of the hat that I don't think I'm going to care too much about finishing it nicely. I think I'm just going to do my best and move on with this project. We also don't have that much time because I still am planning on doing my gaming stream today because I'm really excited. I unlocked the Secret Woods in Stardew Expanded, and they're huge. Like they're so much bigger than the Secret Woods in normal Stardew, and like there's a maze and everything. I want to see what's on the other side of that maze, so we're gonna be doing that pretty soon in my time. Then gotta have a little lunch, and then maybe fold a little laundry. And then off to the dermatologist. So I sewed the band and I turned it inside out, and I've pinned it like just a bit away from the seam because this is going to be where it attaches to the brim. And I think I'm okay if this gets cut up into the seam allowance. But the hat doesn't actually call for this band. This is me adding it because I feel like I want to incorporate this print. So then I had a little bit of extra length to it. So I started and I ended the band where the bow is going to be, and then I cut off the rest of the band, and that will be the casing for the bow. Wow. So now I'll just sew this down. Not yet. I'll sew this open and then I'll fold it over and tack it down when I am done. But yeah, let's... Now, when I saw that she was leaving long threads, I thought that was it going to be a basting stitch that we would pull one of them and bring it together? And that's not what she did, but I might try that myself. Oh, she don't want to pull. She'll pull. Okay, so that gets us a little bit of the way there. Ooh, I really should have gone in and got the corners with my crochet hook before I moved on to this. But as I mentioned before, we no longer care. We no longer care that much about this hat because we have bigger things in our life, and we already messed up majorly. Okay, so I don't like that. I'll do what she did, and I will just fold it nicely. Sometimes you have to accept people who have done this before and are very experienced might actually have good advice that you should follow, even though you enjoy being creative and innovative. There's a certain amount of learning what you're doing before you can truly innovate. That must happen. Here we have a bow. Yeah, no, that's not good. See, I ran out of space here. Oh, so you can't see. I ran out of space, and I tried to make it work, and I don't think it did. But it's kind of in the back, and this hat already kind of sucks. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I don't know. I can't see nothing. Oh, I'm so Blossom. I don't like this hat. But it fits okay. Like, it's actually pretty tight. No, it won't stay on my head when I move around. Flip it up like a pirate. Howdy, ma'am. Oh God, what have I done? Well, okay, I am back from the dermatologist, and I have thrown all the clothes that I wore there in the wash. I've taken a long shower, washed my hair, and you can still, yeah, you can still see the lines of my respirator mask, which. So the dermatologist is, oh, sorry, I'm going to lead with the important news. All clear, everything's good. Everything is normal and just a part of being an old lady. Which is one of the reasons why maybe I didn't jump on it as soon as I could have. It's because I had suspicions that a lot of it was down to being an old lady, but still good to know. Because during the day, Cherish, who's looked some things up on Google and knows like, okay, this is probably fine. It's not the same as the middle of the night Cherish. So everything's good. So, and it was like the actual going there and getting in and all that is always a pain, and it was a pain. And the entrance of this building was a very fancy building that I've only been in once before in my entire life because it's just way too fancy for people like me. But the very entrance of this building was just full of a coffee smell. I didn't see coffee anywhere, but just fresh ground everywhere. Like and I was wearing my respirator the whole time. It got into the respirator, and in fact, like when we left and I went outside and took my respirator off for a minute so I could have a drink of water before I got into the car, because I have to wear the respirator in the car because our old one died, and so we got a new one, and we have to go through the process of trying to de-stink it, and it's a whole thing, and it might be a video, but right now it's just I still have to wear a mask inside of it. But like I had to try and like shake the coffee smell out of the mask and blow it out, and it wouldn't leave the inside of my mask, and it was a problem. But takeaway is that it was really simple, really non-invasive. Everything that I had, she just looked at it and said, "Oh, that's a blah blah blah. It's very normal. Oh, that's a clear mole. It's fine. That's a oh, you have a cyst. Like, you know, here's what to keep an eye on. Because like if it gets bigger, it can be painful, but like it's fine. So everything that I showed her was fine. And I even like had a weird one in a very sensitive area. And she's like, oh, that's fine, and it's normal, and it's the same thing that's on your face. It just looks different because it's in that spot instead. And so yeah, I mean, if If you want a TMI one, we can go TMI, but so far I'll just say it was a sensitive area and it's fine. So everything's fine, but it's still good to make sure that I keep everything fine. So I'm going to get a hat. It might not be this might not be the hat, but we're gonna work on it. Is this video gonna go out tomorrow? I don't know. We'll see. But at least I didn't. And also, like, actually, this is the same water bottle that I had, so that might be a problem. Okay. The good news is that the smell didn't really absorb into the metal enough that I have to get a different water bottle and wash that one. So, and I had, it's been so long since I've had an in-person visit anywhere. That I kind of forgot how bad magazines are. Like, not just talking about like, oh, it's the waiting room, so they have like old, like a Farmer like old magazines that no one ever reads. Like, these are pretty decent. I didn't really check the dates. They probably weren't that old because it was a very fancy building and it was a dermatologist, so they got that Botox money. Like, they get the money from the skin, they get the money from the insurance for the medical things, but they also get the money from, you know, rich people who want to extend their youth just a little bit longer. But yeah, who says aging can't be beautiful? But yeah, I forgot. I bumped them. I like was gonna like look through a magazine, and I just like tapped the stack of magazines and through my respirator. Got just smacked in the face with so much perfume. Like, oh yeah, magazines come with perfume samples. Why? Okay. Oh my god, so many loose threads everywhere. Take care of that so they don't mess things up. I'm gonna take this. And I'm going to sew both of the layers, which I think I could just go through and give that a little stitch now just to keep them together, which maybe I will. I'm almost out of thread though, so I'm going to take these and sew them together, and that's my hat. Well, then add that last snap, but that's the hat. So I'm going to do this without you so that I don't have to worry about all the squares. There's gonna be so many squares. So many squares. Not squares, that's the problem. Circles. Hats are circles. I should have just sewn the front and the lining together first and then sewn the top on, but I didn't because I'm very close to running out of thread. But look at it, looks like a little yip yip. Yip 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 yip. Yip yip yip. Yip 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 yip. I don't know how I'm gonna fix you. But, oh, it's right in the front, too. Almost done. Okay. So, this is my Yip Yip hat. It's very bad. It's very, very bad. I'll try it on for you. Oh, such a noisy chair. Which is the front and which is the back? This is the back. Okay. Oh, I think I put the straps on in the wrong spot and everything. Well, it is what it is. I can't find the snap to snap it. But, okay. Well, it's a hat. I can't even see myself. Oh, it's so silly. It's so silly. It's so Captain. Is it Captain Crunch? I don't know. It's big. It's bad. It's big and it's bad. And there's the snap. I think this did end up. I think I thought that the snap. I think I put it on backwards from the start. Okay. Well, at least we can still do that. So it has a strap. And it has a bow. And it has so many flaws, and it's like a little too wide. And I couldn't leave it like that. I couldn't end the video. I couldn't end the video on this hat. So I ordered interfacing and I tried to follow the directions better. And I cut the extra, oh, this chair is so noisy. And I cut the extra width off of the brim so it'd be the size that is originally in the pattern. And guys, it turns out following directions is like super important. Following the directions and having the correct materials, it's kind of life-changing. Just how much better everything works. So, instead of doing that one really thick foam, we did the 2 layers of interfacing and I ironed them onto the fabric before we sewed it together. And it worked a lot better. It's still not perfect. We still have some flaws. And also I was going to add a bow, and I clipped it in place and I sewed it all up, and then I took it out of my sewing machine and the little holder for the bow was not attached. It had fallen out. So I totally missed that. I tried and I totally missed that. And then I just fully forgot to make and add a strap. So we have this hat, which honestly, it's not perfect, but it's not a yip yip. I think that's the best thing we can say about this. It's not a yip yip. It does have a couple of wrinkles, but they're very small. It's very noisy. You hear how noisy that is? It's so noisy. I'm curious how this will wash up because I do need to wash it. I'm gonna like do some filming in it today just so that we can put it in the video, but it still smells. It still smells. Michael's, they tricked me with my first order into thinking that the stuff that I order from them, like fabric-wise and Notion, well, the Notion was already stinky, but they tricked me that the fabric would not be stinky because the first batch that I bought wasn't stinky. It was amazing. The second batch very much was. So then the problem with the interfacing is you can't just throw it in the wash. So now that it's like part of this garment, I can put it in the wash. Now that it's part of the hat, we can wash it, but I can't pre-wash it. So I have to deal with stinky interfacing and iron stinky interfacing, which when you apply heat to smelly things, the smell gets bigger. But yeah, we do have like little tiny, oh, not so much a yip yip as maybe a little yip. So it's still not perfect, and I'm still never making another hat. This, I'm not precise enough of a person. Nothing that I've ever built is precise enough of like I can design things, like put it precisely on paper, but like I can't execute it with precision. It's just against my nature. So like I'm loose, I'm creative, and I'm messy. And this hat is still a little messy, and it's just a pain to deal with things that don't have any give, but you also, it is what it is. And is it cute? Where's the back? Where is there? There's the back. Also, this is a problem that I have with the pattern itself, is that I just want the brim to go out more. I want it to be flatter. So I just made the wrong style hat. So I don't want to make another one because it's not fun to make hats. And also because I don't like this pattern for me. It's not what I wanted it. It's not what I was looking for. And it still is a little too long in the back and like hitting on things a little bit. But pull this up so I can see you. See, it's still very silly. But I was playing with it the other day. Because I'm like, can I make it a tricorn hat? What can we do? What can we do with this very silly hat? Because it's really moldable because of the interfacing, so it's really fun to just play with it. But I think that's actually cute. What do you think? Super cute. I think this is like actually cute. Okay, now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the gardening that I've been putting off before the thunderstorms come. So, thank you so much for joining me on this journey of health and hats. And we'll see you next time. Bye. Keep it cozy.